I'm curious if inflation is impacting Creator Warehouse and if you have any ideas of how to deal with it. Will you have to increase prices to cover costs?
Oh, man, you're going to make me talk about inflation again? I don't need any more hot takes here, man. All right. Is inflation impacting Creator Warehouse? Inflation is, in a nutshell, yes. I keep saying in a nutshell today. I'm like hooked on nutshells. Bottom line, yes. But is the impact as much as other industries and other businesses?
I'll be more blunt. A lot of companies are looting right now. They're blaming a lot of it on inflation, and they're massively ramping up prices and taking the biggest profit margins they have ever taken and calling it inflation.
Yes. Yes, inflation is affecting us. We have had costs rise. Logistics costs have gone up significantly in the last couple of years. Labor costs are an interesting one because theoretically, as inflation spins out of control, labor costs are supposed to go up. But my understanding is that real salary growth has actually not been that much. With that said, our salaries do grow, so that's not any different for us. I think that Luke can attest to that he doesn't get paid the same as he did 9 years ago, which is probably good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think Bell gets paid the same as he did. When did you start, Bell? 2 years ago?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Yeah, about a year and a half ago. I'm pretty sure you don't get paid the same as you did when you started. So, like, yes, labor costs are going up. But the thing is that I think inflation's getting used as a boogeyman, as someone to blame for costs going up because,
look that way while I shove all the money in my bag.
Yeah, like let's say, like an apple, for example. The cost of an apple. Sorry, how does this go up? Okay, so the farm laborers might get paid more, but
that's good.
And the truckers might get paid more. Fuel costs are going up, but the fuel
bad.
costs are only going up because the companies that produce fuel decided to raise the costs. The truckers are actually, I don't even know. Has there been, okay, I mean, I'd love to hear from you guys. Has there been significant movement in the trucking industry in terms of like real world actual salaries? Farmhands, are you guys getting paid a ton more? In the grand scheme of thing, the actual cost of that apple on the shelf, like how much of that was actual labor in the first place? And if it wasn't labor, how is it inflating? What does that even mean? How did the land, does the land cost more now to like sit there? Land prices are going up, but a lot of that is just exploitative, speculative investment. That's not inflation. So basically it's complicated.
Yeah.
And yes, our costs are going up, just like anyone's costs are going up right now, but not enough that we have actually had to significantly adjust our pricing up until this point.
But you might eventually. It might impact something at some time.
We might have to.
Yeah, exactly.
But it won't be because we just decided to take more profit. Actually, our margins have been very consistent pretty much since we started. We take about 100 points. So you can assume that our costs are somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 65%, and the more expensive the item, typically the less actual percentage profit we tend to take on it. So that's why that doesn't just center on 50%. That's why it could be lower. Like we rely on high margin, low ASP, low average sell price items like water bottles or cable ties to help subsidize how much more difficult it is for us as a small company to do bigger ticket items like hoodies, screwdrivers, backpacks, things like that. So that's typically what we target. And that might sound like a lot for us to sell something for $50 that we spend $25 on, but that is gross margins. That does not include the people who designed it. That does not include customer service. That does not include transactional overhead. That doesn't include R&D for future products. Like Creator Warehouse isn't a crazy money printing machine. And that is pretty reasonable for gross margins for like clothing items, consumer goods, that sort of thing.
Thanks for watching, and thanks to Secret Lab for sponsoring this week's clips. Secret Lab chairs are engineered to keep you comfy, and with up to 5 years of warranty and a 49-day return policy, you're covered if anything goes wrong. Head to the link in the description to get your Secret Lab chair today.